back to the Townhouse. This is episode 3. This is Xavier, here with Anthony and Gavin.
Oh, but Xavier, I think we have a special guest with us today.
Who would that be?
Oh, why don't we turn it over to our guest and he'll introduce himself.
Hello everyone, my name is Dan. I am a friend of Gavin, Xavier, and Anthony. We all went to school together. Well, Xavier stayed on the couch.
We don't need to clarify that point. We all went to school together. We can leave it at that.
We did. But I...
Further detail is not required at this time.
Wow. Right now I do part-time security. I'm looking to be a police officer down in D.C. That's the goal. And I'm looking to get a lot out of this podcast. I like having some general discussion with the boys and looking to have some fun.
Tossing back a few brews.
Oh yeah, baby.
Absolutely. Well, good to have you here, Dan. And Anthony, Thank you for bringing up that he was here.
Anytime. I'm always happy to announce when we have a new guest. So, all right, I'll take control of this.
Okay.
So why don't we just jump right into our news stories for the week? Does that sound
Taking
good?
the reins. Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Why not?
Beautiful.
Sounds like a time.
All right. First one here is we've got some marijuana packages washing up on shores in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Do you think it was pirate weed?
Like the pirates lost their weed?
Like the
that
pirates
sounds highly
of the Caribbean,
uncharacteristic of pirates.
huh.
Well, maybe they buried it. And, they didn't bury it deep enough, so the ocean brought it back up.
Well, it says here that the large packages just of the marijuana washed up on the beaches.
So from a shipwreck.
And possibly a shipwreck.
Do you think it was...
Could be like...
Do you think it was Blackbeard's weed?
Blackbeard?
Yeah.
Is it
Pirate.
like Pirates
I'm
of the
gonna
Caribbean?
Oh.
No, I think he's thinking of the Stars show.
Oh, Black Sails. That one?
yeah.
No, Blackbeard was a real pirate.
But also...
He wasn't in my history
But
textbook.
also was the name
I
of a
don't think he was... He
Black
wasn't one of the
Black
presidents
Sails.
either.
Obviously, he's a pirate.
What my point is that he was a part of history that maybe didn't show up in the history textbook.
I've never heard of Blackbeard.
Really?
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
I swear to God.
I mean, he even made an appearance in, the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's because
Wow,
I haven't
spoilers.
seen the third one. I don't think I've seen the
Spoilers.
first.
Okay.
I've seen the first and the second.
All right. So this next story comes to us all the way from St. Louis, Missouri, and it's the Six Flags down there is offering customers to participate in a competition for the Halloween season, and if they can last 30 hours in a coffin, they win $300. Does this sound like a fun event that either of you would partake in?
Why not? St. Louis, home of the St. Louis Rams.
Wait, what do you mean, either of you? Am I not included in this discussion, Anthony?
Ooh.
Oh, wow, we didn't
wow.
introduce Gavin, did we?
Did we introduce Gavin?
I don't think we did.
What are you talking about? I've been
He
here
hasn't
since day
contributed.
Gavin's sitting in the other section of the room,
We
so
did
it's
not
That is
realize he was
Fake
here.
news.
wrong.
Sorry.
All right.
What are the rules and regulations? Are we stuck in there for 30 hours total, or do we have any kind of breaks?
Well, you get a break on the hour, like 6-ish minutes to go to the bathroom, get a little snack, whatever you want. But it's very quick. If you miss that deadline, you're out of the competition.
6-minute break for the bathroom, though.
That's not bad.
It's a good amount of time.
It's pretty good unless,
You gotta take a dump.
yeah. Then it's
That's a speed dump right there.
it's variable.
Yeah.
There's no looking at Instagram posts and that.
I would
Not looking at
say...
memes.
Yeah, I would say
Having
that's...
words with friends.
I could do it.
Throwback.
I mean, assuming that, temperature's somewhat controlled, because I would imagine, if it's inside and you're in a wooden coffin, it might get a little warm in there.
It's gonna be a
Some
little
little
toasty.
steamy.
But assuming that the temperature's controlled, yeah, why not? I could do it. For $300, if I had
30
nothing
hours?
else going on, sure.
Sure, I mean, that's what Anthony does on Saturdays anyway, is he sleeps
That is true.
pretty much the entire day. You would only have to last another couple hours to make it to 30.
That is very
untrue.
true.
I don't think that's
Sounds
as
like-
accurate.
sounds like
it
the
sounds
college
like
days.
alternative facts. But
Wow.
anyway, so you would partake, you think? So you
For $300, yeah.
I'm assuming if you make it the full 30 hours.
I have a question. Are you competing with anyone else?
Yeah, however many people. I think it could be up to 5 people.
So you're saying
6 contestants. It's like
Six
the first
contestants?
word in the,
Oh,
in
there
the
it is.
article.
So you're saying that you can sit in a coffin
It's-
for 30 hours, and there's a chance
It's
that
a
you might
2
not
foot
even
by
win.
7 foot coffin. It starts at 1 p.m. on October 13th and runs till 7 p.m. on October 14th at the park. So that's, overnight.
Yep.
That's a little spooky. Oh, yeah, Fright Fest. Anyway, someone, whenever you finish this 30 hours, I'm hoping somebody will open their coffin door and say, "Cough up the money."
Wow.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
Okay, let's go on to the next.
The next news
article.
story? Yeah, sure. How about that? So the Flyers, Philly Flyers, introduced a new mascot.
Oscar the Grouch?
Looks like a coked out
my
Muppet
God.
or something.
So, for those, well, I guess nobody can really see this since it's a podcast. So, Dan, do you want to give it a shot at describing that furry little bastard?
Oh, boy. Looks like Oscar the Grouch just saw his first pair of titties.
Oh my god.
And he's got his left hand up like he's fist pumping.
It's an orange.
With a t-shirt cannon, though,
Wait,
so he's
yeah.
hyping the crowd up.
It's an orange Muppet. is what
But he
it
looks like he just did a whole shitload of drugs, and then he just
Eyes
skated
wide
out.
open.
Oh yeah, those definitely dilated pupils.
He's got some serious lipstick going too. He could be going for that Joker vibe. Why so serious?
Ah, true.
But yeah, orange hair and yeah, kind of
7
scruffy
foot
looking.
tall. That's huge.
What is?
That's like Zdeno Chara height.
I guess the issue is that
Zendaya.
with a team name like the Flyers, that's rather ambiguous. It's not like where your team's named after, I don't know, an animal
The
or
Muppets.
yeah, like I mean, but like the Flyers, it's ambiguous. It could be interpreted any number of ways.
True.
And I don't know exactly how this is being interpreted because I can't figure out what this is.
Well, there's like radio flyers. Those are the little red wagons that people drag around when they're kids.
See here, they compare the look to this
It could be birds.
mascot to
Yeah.
ZZ Top and a Muppet combined. So if like they
ZZ
had a
Top.
baby
Comparison, yeah.
and
I
they
like that.
popped out this mofo.
Yeah, because those are the
Look at this.
well-bearded rocker.
The Pittsburgh Penguins tweeted "LOL okay" at the sight of this
Wow,
new
they're-
mascot. So they're obviously
Don't hate Pittsburgh.
but then this mascot apparently sent out a pretty nasty tweet saying, "Sleep with one eye open tonight." Bird.
Oh.
Sounds like we got a bit of a rivalry, another Eminem MGK type
Pittsburgh's
rivalry.
just jealous they didn't win another Stanley Cup.
Savage.
Called out.
And then, all right, so I think that's it for the news. Why don't we turn it over to Beer of the Week? Xavier, you
I
want
can
to elaborate?
introduce this part here, my favorite part of the podcast. So today we have actually 2 beers from Throwback Brewery. This is a somewhat local brewery located near the coast in New Hampshire. But what we have here is a chai tea porter. It's a seasonal from Throwback Brewery. And then we also have Cheek Squeezer, which is a sour ale made by them. So we've all had an opportunity to try both of them now.
Oh, actually, let me take a sip of the other one. I have not.
Dan, since you are our special guest today, do you want to start us off? Let's start with Cheek Squeezer, and we'll go around starting with you, and then we'll discuss the next one after that. But what are your thoughts on Cheek Squeezer?
Well, I've never been a huge fan of the sour ale, but I kind of like this one. At first, I didn't give it a chance on the first sip, and yeah,
What would you give
I like
it
it.
if you're going to do a number on a 1 to 10 scale?
like a 6.5, 7.
6.57. All right,
All right, that's
Anthony.
pretty good.
6.57.
Well, all right. This is what the cheeky squeezer. Cheek squeezer.
Cheek squeeze.
Cheek
Yeah.
squeezer.
Those are the faces. Wait, the faces?
Faces.
Faces on your cheeks? The cheeks on
Cheeks
your
on
face?
your face.
Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you mean. I know
Yeah.
some of these words.
In case there was any ambiguity, it's a
Yeah.
true sour.
True sour. All right, let me be honest with you. Not a fan of this one. I am not the biggest fan of sour beer.
Okay.
Wow.
It's okay. I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Oh, it's not hurting my feelings.
All right.
I didn't make it.
Good, because now we're about to roast it.
Xavier's like sobbing
This
over here.
has been one of the worst beers I have ever. No,
What?
I won't say worst.
Did you finish it?
Wow.
I have a little bit left. It's taking me a little time to drink it because I'm not a
How
fan
could
of
you
it.
drink something you hate?
Wow.
Because apparently, the part 2 to this
You
is
do need
supposed
to
to go
finish
well
it.
with it.
Yes.
Finish it.
So, if you were
Yeah.
going to give it a 1 to 10 scale, what would that be?
For cheek squeezer, I have to go like 3.5 or 4.
Wow.
Cheek squeeze. How
Harsh.
do you feel about that?
Harsh criticism.
You're asking the beer?
Well,
Very
Gavin,
sad.
you like it?
Yeah, I think Cheek Squeezer is like a very sour. Like it's a true sour.
I agree.
And I am a fan of sours. objectively though, probably give it like. Actually, probably like a 7, solid 7. It's a good sour. I really enjoy it. But sours aren't necessarily the go-to, but they are good. So
I would say to round this discussion off, so first of all, I had this beer before today on several occasions. I was very familiar with it. I like sours in general, but that said, you can only drink, maybe 1 or 2 sour beers. It's definitely not one you can drink a lot of. So for that reason alone, I don't think I can put it any higher than what I'm rating it at, which is 7.
Start us off again.
Yeah.
So next one we got Chai Tea Porter.
I'm about a quarter of the way through this, and I honestly like it more than the Cheek Squeezer. If I were to rate it on a 1 to 10, I'd probably say like a 7.5. I really like this one.
Dan, with those decimal points for accuracy.
Yeah, I gotta throw the decimal points.
So, 7.5?
7.5.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool
like
beans.
A little bitterness.
Well, according to Xavier, these go hand in hand. So you need to have the cheek squeeze first, and then you drink the whatever this is, the chai tea porter.
I like the way
now,
you think.
I do like how they complement each other. I will give it the benefit of the doubt there. This is has a coffee-like taste to it, in my opinion.
It's a porter.
For the record, I don't typically drink porters and or sour beer. So this has been quite the experience. Anyway, if I was going to rate this chai tea porter, I would have to say it's probably in a 6.5 for myself. It's not my go-to, but it's definitely not the worst thing I've had.
What would the worst thing you've had be, I wonder?
We'll have to wait and find out for another time.
Keystone Light.
Yes, excellent.
Alright, well, for me personally, not the biggest fan of porters, but this one's pretty good. I'd give it another solid 7. Not going to go higher than that. We'll have to wait and see what beer breaks the 7.5, 8 range.
True.
I'm going to say that this is a 6.8. Just under
Decimal points.
Wow.
Xavier's on my
just
level.
under a 7. I like the cheek squeezer better. I'm not sure if that's because I like sours better than porters generally. I enjoyed this beer, but I feel like on principle I can't rate it as high as my previous rating if I liked the previous beer better. So 6.8 is my score. It's close, but not quite at the level of cheek squeezer, in my opinion.
I respect that.
Okay.
I also appreciate they use decimal points as well. So
Exactly. Well, you know what? I learned something from the special guest. That's why we bring
always
special
learn
guests
from
on.
a special guest.
Okay, so our next topic of discussion will be, are there any new video games and or movies coming out before the end of 2018 that you're looking forward to either playing or watching?
Yeah. Can I start us off?
Go for it.
So, I'm not going to do anything more than just touch on this because I've already mentioned it. Assassin's Creed. We all know
Yes.
I'm pumped for Assassin's Creed. Movies, I actually was interested in this when I saw a trailer for it today. A Star is Born.
Oh, with Bradley Cooper.
Bradley
That's
Cooper
his-
and Lady Gaga.
Lady
True.
Gaga.
Bradley Cooper is hot.
Yeah.
So I don't. So I don't know too much about the details of the movie.
Lady Gaga's also hot. If you cover her
She-
face.
Well,
Yeah.
she's all right.
You cover her face.
But I don't know.
Let's get
I
some
saw the
Oscar
trailer.
buzz.
It looks good, and supposedly Lady Gaga has a really good performance in this. Bradley Cooper is generally a good actor. My favorite
Yes,
movie
he's-
with him is The Hangover, but
Gavin?
Well, I'm with Xavier in terms of the video game. I'd say Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Definitely the game I'm looking forward to. But we've already touched on that. The movie I'm looking forward to is actually the Freddie Mercury movie that's coming out.
Oh, yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, so that, to me, I've always been a fan of music, and I think Queen they've always been different, you know? They have so many just absolute bangers, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Bangers.
Bangers!
You should go see them live.
Yeah, the movie looks really cool. It's interesting because Queen has so many just very different styles in each of their songs. So it'd be cool to kind of see that process behind it, and I know it's driven by Brian May, who's the lead guitarist, and he said, that the movie really does it justice, like to what the band was doing, in their early years. So I think that'll be really cool.
Nice, that does look good. I'm interested in seeing that one as well.
I'm stoked. In terms of movies, I'm actually pretty excited to see Venom.
Oh, Tom Hardy.
I'm a Marvel guy. I enjoy those movies.
Do you think there will be a cameo by Spider-Man?
I hope so.
I do. The studio, Sony and Marvel, are in contractual agreement that they can share the right to Spider-Man. No, they didn't confirm he'll make an appearance, but they share the right to Spider-Man. So
wow, you just own someone like that, like a slave.
Wow.
Wrong.
Wow.
Nobody else outraged here? That's messed up.
Shocking.
That is messed up.
But yeah, Venom.
I'm pumped for that. Like Xavier said, A Star Is Born. I saw a quick preview for that, and I think Bradley Cooper's going to have a great performance. And having Lady Gaga on, kind of them doing a little duet action. I think it's going to be
true.
I think it's going to be great.
And Lady Gaga can act based off of her American Horror Story.
Oh yeah,
she's won awards for that. So
yeah, and I thought that was like
herself.
one of the better American Horror Stories of a series
Was
that in
that
general I'm not
third
too impressed with.
Or fourth
Which
season?
one? Hotel?
The 5th season.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Like on 7 or 8 or something like that
Yeah,
now.
because I just talked to her the other day. She could have sworn it was 4 seasons, but apparently
slid into her DMs.
Yeah. It was a fake account she answered. It
like
actually
a fan?
her, though.
It wasn't her.
Or you're getting catfished?
Disappointing.
It's probably Bradley Cooper.
Must have been. I don't mind that. I'm cool with Bradley Cooper.
All right. Well, for me personally, video game I'm looking forward to. I'm not a huge gamer. I don't play video games that often, but the one that caught my eye that I'm most looking forward to is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh hell yeah!
That has been, I feel like, in production for a few years. I know it was scheduled to be released 2 falls ago, and then it was pushed up to the fall, the upcoming spring, and then it was pushed back to the fall again, and then it took a year off, which I guess was last year in 2017. So now finally, it'll be released on October 26th, I believe. And I watched the gameplay trailer. Graphics these days are insane. It looks pretty awesome though too. Made by Rockstar, so they make Grand Theft Auto. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and a few others. But
And it's Western themed. And
it is Western
They
themed.
don't make a lot of Western games.
They do, and this one's actually fun. It's open world, free roam. It's kind of like Grand Theft Auto in a way, in the Wild West almost.
That's
Although
cool.
you don't steal cars, but you could tame
Steal
a
a
horse,
horse.
steal a horse.
Steal a horse, ride a cowboy.
Thank you for that, Dan.
You're welcome.
Correct.
I know
That's
how
why we
much-
brought Dan
I know
on
how
the
much
show.
you guys love country, so I had to throw that out there.
Oh,
I'm
big and
pretty
rich.
sure I'm the only country hater on the show.
Big and
True.
rich.
But that'll be a discussion for a future podcast.
Oh yeah.
And
Little sneak peek.
What
True.
we have for tonight as our
but I haven't said my movie I'm most looking for.
Oh, just
No.
cut Xavier off left and right.
You
Jesus
cut me
Christ.
he
To be
did.
fair, that's all right. I'll go quick because it's gonna be coming out in like the
Like
next
your
3
sex
weeks.
life.
Wow.
Just kidding.
No, the film I'm most looking forward to at the moment is the new Halloween movie. Because this one is ignoring every single sequel that has come out since the original. The original is probably my all-time favorite horror movie, based off of the simple premise, and it was shot for only like $350,000 and made. It's like one of the most highest-grossing movies in that aspect in history. Off of a small budget.
Like biggest return on investment.
Exactly. And so it's picking up
Business term.
40 years to the day from the original movie, and bringing Jamie Lee back to try to face off with Michael one last time. Maybe, who knows? But it's Danny McBride wrote it, so I think that'll be interesting, seeing a comedian
Oh yeah.
writing a movie. And then David Gordon Green directing. He directed Pineapple Express, so we're getting a little comedy duo distributing a horror film. And I know it's premiered already up in Canada.
So it's going to be a stoner comedy horror film?
I don't know. From the early reviews I've read of it, it's going to be pretty gory and pretty pretty suspenseful, with a little bit of comedy sprinkled in there. So it should be interesting.
I'm just gonna say something real quick. You look at Get Out with Jordan Peele.
True.
That ended up being
And
an
even,
Oscar-nominated film.
A Quiet Place. John Krasinski, he's known for, Jim on The Office, his more comedic roles, but he helmed directorial...
Comedians
directing.
can write people. They can do it.
They can do
Especially horror films.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I'd say Red Dead Redemption 2 and the new Halloween movie coming out for myself.
Sounds good.
Boom.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that, Anthony.
Thank
so,
you.
Love you, buddy.
moving on to our big discussion of the evening here, we have a question for sort of everyone in the room here. With obviously all the new projects coming out from Disney on Star Wars, question to you guys is, what Star Wars project, either in the works or something that you'd like to see in the works, are you most interested in seeing?
None of them. I'm just kidding. I love Star
Wow.
Wars.
Well,
Dan's
Dan,
a
go ahead
hater.
and start us
Dan's
off.
a nerf herder, as they would
No,
say.
Ooh.
I've watched all the Star Wars. I mean.
Did you see Last Jedi?
Is that the fifth one?
Oh my god, Dan hasn't seen
I-
any
Dan
Star
should
Wars.
not
seen
have
all of
started
them.
us
I'm
off.
bad-
We're gonna
I'm bad
move.
with the
No,
names.
Last Jedi
Bad
was the
with
one
the
that
names.
came out last year.
Oh yeah. I don't
my
think I've
God.
seen that one.
Yeah, we're gonna
The
move on.
Last Jedi, is that the one with
It's episode 8. It came out last year.
Oh, I don't want to spoil
It's-
it. Never mind. I was gonna say something.
Wow.
I
So
think
y'all
I,
saw it.
Not
I think
gonna
everybody
spoil
in
it.
the world has seen it.
I think so.
It is the
It's
most
the introduction of
controversial.
Yeah,
by
the
far.
most
the
divisive.
introduction of a new character. He's a what's his name in the film? He's a villain.
Are you kidding
Long
me?
black hair.
Kylo Ren?
Kylo Ren.
Dude, he was
Oh
introduced
my
in Force
God.
Awakens.
Which that's the
That's
seven.
It's
Oh,
okay.
come on, cut me some slack.
Wow.
But-
That's all right. Hey.
Yeah, I did see.
Five.
I saw Han Solo though. In
Oh,
theaters.
Solo?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
First,
I enjoyed the action. Didn't know what was going on really, but
As a
It's
matter
one
of
of the
fact,
first- yeah.
Dan's the only one out of all of us who has seen Solo. I'm
Yeah.
interested in the Star Wars project that the Game of Thrones creators are going to be involved with. I think, if anything, they could make a darker Star Wars story, It would be kind of interesting to see. I mean, I know these are family movies and everybody can enjoy them, but I think it would be kind of interesting to see if Star Wars can, not to necessarily crank up the violence to them, but if you get a Game of Thrones quality version of Star Wars where there's limbs getting cut off, more, I guess, what's the word I'm trying to look for?
More realistic.
Graphically, realistic, I think it would be interesting to see what they do. I have no idea the direction they're going to be taking it in, but if they amp up the violence a little bit, make it a little more darker, I think that could be kind of interesting to see.
I think I'm going to have to go cliche on this one. I think it would be fun to see an Obi-Wan standalone movie. There's so much that happens between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, where you just sort of have two Jedi sitting out. One goes into exile for some odd reason that wasn't quite explained well enough in Revenge of the Sith, in my opinion. Plot hole, maybe? I won't. We won't get into the controversial territory. But in Obi-Wan standalone, Obi-Wan being, a character throughout all the good Star Wars movies, just...
Exactly.
You want to see Ewan return?
I don't disagree.
Oh
with
yeah,
that
start.
statement.
It has to start Ewan McGregor.
Of course, he's the greatest.
Anybody else, that would be disgraceful.
It would be.
But yeah, I think it would be cool. Maybe seeing him on Tatooine or going on various, mercenary missions throughout the galaxy. Not necessarily as a bad guy, but just he needs stuff to do.
He's got to lay low too with all the.
Yeah, he's got to keep his head down, but you got to think he has to be able to teach Luke, a decent bit. Has to retain all that knowledge. Plus, spoiler alert, cover your ears for the next 30 seconds if you haven't seen episode 3, you uncultured swine.
Oh.
But
That's true.
we reveal that all of a sudden he can talk to Qui-Gon back from the dead as a Force ghost. And
Although
then they just leave it like, okay, now we've covered that topic. for the entirety of episodes 4, 5, and 6.
True. So if we can get a Liam Neeson cameo in this standalone, that
man.
would be worth the price of admission.
That's fact material right there.
And a Samuel L. Jackson cameo.
Ooh,
That's
True. Sam Jackson
That would be great.
is the greatest actor
As
of all time.
show up
Next
as
to The Rock.
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu with robot hands. That would be great. I'm going to go ahead and go into what I'm wanting for Star Wars, and I think this isn't going to come as much surprise to those sitting in the room here. But first of all, I agree with Anthony. I would like to see a grittier, darker Star Wars from the Game of Thrones creators. The path that I could see that potentially taking is one of two. So I think that if the creators of Game of Thrones did a Boba Fett standalone and just took it a super dark, delving into the, crime underworld of the galaxy. Wow, Gavin.
I'm sorry, I got a little excited there, guys.
Oh, man.
I think that would be really I think that would be really cool. I really do. I think that, especially with the character of Boba Fett in the original trilogies being about the age of the actor of Jango Fett from Episode 2, it would be pretty easy for them to do that sort of transition. The other thing I would like to see is a Revan Old Republic Star Wars story. I think that's untapped potential there, and Revan is generally one of the more beloved Star Wars characters for true Star Wars fans that are, following everything beyond just, the movies that have been released.
Well, for Dan and I, who don't really know who the heck that is.
Who the heck is that?
Who the heck is Darth Revan?
Oh, shit, were we not supposed to swear on this show?
No, we can fucking swear.
We can swear.
Okay.
We can say whatever the fuck we want.
Okay.
Oh, dude, watch your fucking mouth.
Wow, language. So first of all, Darth Revan is a character that was created in, I believe, 2003 when Knights of the Old Republic came out.
Is that a comic?
It was a video game.
Oh.
But then comics and
hope
a
so.
second video game were made about that timeline, as well as a RPG, merchandise, additional storyline, basically leading all the way up until Episode 1. Obviously all of that has sort of been scrapped for the most part, other than the video game itself, by Disney when Disney acquired the rights. But still, the idea of Revan, the character of Revan, is something that I thought was in general really cool from when I first saw it when the first Knights of the Old Republic came out. And it was also something that almost became canon because there was a cutscene from the Clone Wars TV show that was going to have Revan in one of Anakin Skywalker's visions. And they cut it at the last minute. They had it all set to go, all the animation done, and they cut it at the last minute because they thought no one's going to understand this reference.
But you would have.
I would have.
Xavier, do you
only a
watch
true
Star
fan.
Wars by any chance? I'm just wondering.
Occasionally.
I mean, I don't know.
But I don't know. We'll leave it at that, at least in my input. I could rant for another 15, 20 minutes if you let me just go off, no holds barred. But yeah, that's what I would like to see from Star Wars. Something a little darker, potentially from the Game of Thrones people. Something about Boba Fett, and also something about Revan. And I'm also open to what Anthony and Gavin suggested. I like the idea of an Obi-Wan movie. And
True. Well, I think there was supposed to be plans of an Obi-Wan standalone movie, but Solo performed so poorly at the box office that I think they scrapped that idea for standalone movies.
Can we edit in a little Darth Vader no in this part?
Well, I think that pretty much wraps up everything we were looking to cover in the podcast today. Does anyone have any final thoughts on Star Wars or anything?
Use protection.
Anthony?
Whenever you go to the grocery store, wash your fruits and veggies before you eat them.
When life gives you lemons, say fuck the lemons and bail.
Take my
Watch
eyes.
the movie.
Alright.
I don't have any advice for our listener.
Well, our listeners in the room, so.
If our listener is still with us by this point, thank you for listening. This has been the Townhouse. Xavier, Gavin, Anthony, and special guest Dan.
Introducing Dan.
All right. Have a great night.
Thank you all.